How much of a G do you have to be to like walk up on national television and smack a
Oscars.
king?
Smacking Chris Rock
you
at
gotta
the
look
Oscars.
you gotta look at the motive though. He felt weak his like decades, and now you're doing something to recuperate that, and it end up going worse for you than anything. I mean,
It's gangster because he stood up for his wife.
that cheated on him.
Yeah.
That's my point. It would have been gangster if that his wife wasn't doing anything and, that happened. Then, okay, I understand. But your wife literally exposed you and embarrassed you on TV and talked about how she was in love with a whole nother guy that's dead now, rest in peace to him, and then come about and making you have to compete with almost everybody that you meet and made you feel insecure. Have your daughter write a note to Tupac talking about how, I wish he was here so my mom could be happy. What? Like not only you, but your daughter. Your daughter said that. You slept with your son's best friend. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Quest of the Future Messiahs, or QFM. We got everybody here. Say what's up, guys. Say what's up.
What's up, guys? It's your boy.
What's good?
Yo, y'all mad weird for real, man. For real. We got my man Kamal on the cut. What's up, Kamal? You back? How was your brother's birthday?
It was really good. We went to Outback. And
Was that expensive?
I didn't pay.
Oh,
It was really good food.
what did you get?
I got mashed potatoes and macaroni.
Dang, we missed you, man. You went there. You wasn't even here, man. It's crazy. We missed you, man.
Had to.
What are you talking about? He was here this whole time.
True.
You cut your dreads?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, he was here.
I cut my dreads.
Nah, so guys, we've been hearing a lot of this big event that just happened. It's called the Slap of the World, heard around the world. If you want more clarification, is with Will Smith and Chris Rock. To be honest, I feel really bad for Will Smith. To be honest, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. What do you think, guys? Talk that junk first.
All I gotta say is that we gotta slide for Chris Rock, man.
Yeah,
Where's Lil Durk when you need him? You know what I'm
true.
Back to that, you said Lil Durk. He didn't slide for Vaughn, but
Wow. Hey, I don't want him
Let me
coming.
chill. Let me chill.
Yeah, chill.
But hey, shout out to Will Smith.
Why you?
Nah, I'm just
Shout
playing.
out to Jada for freaking instigating that shit, to be honest.
She didn't instigate.
Yeah, she did.
She didn't.
She did.
She didn't.
What are you talking about?
Cause like at first so when you look at the videos when you seen what happened when he made that joke, Will Smith was laughing. And then when he looked at Jada, she was like, did the nod. She did like the little shake, she was shaking her head. That's when he did what he did, because she instigated it.
She didn't. She just reacted to it.
She instigated it.
No.
At the end of the day, it was still just a joke, regardless.
No, that's true. I mean, so like, where are you saying? Because I agree with that 100%. I think, honestly,
What I'm saying is I don't think that Jada really instigated it, because from what we can see from our angle, from like a viewer's perspective,
yeah.
Will liked the joke. Jada didn't really like it. Will was kind of just like standing up for his wife and his like mother of his kids, pretty much. So when he saw that, she was like upset about the joke, pretty much. I don't think that he should have went up and like smacked him like in front of live television.
That was
at
a-
the Oscars, you know what I'm saying?
That was,
It
Go
could
on.
have been easily made about, hey, backstage, look, I didn't like what you did about that joke or what you said here. Check him on it like beforehand, at the end of like off the camera and stuff.
honestly, I would have checked him on camera, but I don't think I would have been as like aggressive. I think I'd be like, hey, don't talk about my wife like that. She has this condition here and there. And I think it would have been a good business move, because if you think about it, there's two black people that are coming together. They talked about it, because we see a lot of negativity. So when you see that positivity, something could have ended up bad because of a bad joke. Because what happens is when people react to a bad joke, they think it's bad. It don't necessarily mean that he's being offensive. It's more like it was a bad joke. It's going to hurt people, but at the end of the day, it's like, I feel like she instigated it, because it's more of like he put him in the position to make him feel as if he wasn't a man. All throughout because this is related to, the entanglement. So it's like his whole entire life, he has been facing a lot of competition. Like, that's not even really her true love. Her true love is Tupac. Facts.
Yeah.
So it's like at the end of the day, it's like when you're like, because like even with this, like there's evidence with what's her name, Willow Smith, writing a letter to Tupac saying, "I wish he was alive so you could make my mom happy."
What?
Oh.
Whoa.
News to y'all, huh?
Raggy?
Yeah.
I'm in. So at the end of the day, like you got to do your
I
research.
thought it was Jada, not Willow.
Nah, it was Willow. So it's like for me, is just so many different opinions and all this other stuff. I think more of like if it was like more of like neutral, whatever. I think like it was good for him to stand up for his wife, but just past events, she embarrassed him so bad. I just really don't understand that. I just don't think that it's something that I would just tell her to be quiet and just, we could talk about it later, but I don't. Go ahead, come
Yeah, I
on.
definitely think that it wasn't. I don't feel like it was Jada's fault. I think that was just like the catalyst. Like that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. It was like everything that he's been going through and like
Was because of her.
no, like it's just everything piling up, like all the memes and like there was a quote in his book that said that he felt like a coward growing up because his mom would get beat by his dad and he never did anything about it. So it's like that on top of August Alsina, on top of the memes, on top of like everything. I feel like
He's been down bad for a minute.
yeah.
And I understand that, and I, because like I heard his little interview, or maybe it was, I've heard his perspective on his whole marriage, because to me, that's really the core of like what's going on. That maybe his past experiences, but that's the core. If she didn't say that on national TV or whatever, and not only that, but making justifications about it, and he's sitting there and holding everything in, I just believe that they had, two versions of what a marriage is. He viewed marriage as successful. I want all my people to be successful. She viewed marriage as, oh, if you're not loving me, I'm going to go to somebody else. If you're too focused on the success to the point where you're not focusing on me. But then it's like, you wasn't being genuine either, because that was your second option. Your first option was Tupac. You get what I mean? So this whole entire time, you put Will into a position, and he may have put himself in that position, to where he got to compete with everybody. He got to compete with a dead person. Rest in peace to Tupac. He got to compete with a dead person. Mm-hmm. And when you put in a situation to where you got to compete, there's a lot of insecurities that you're going to have. To be real, it just don't make sense. It really, like I said, I'm going to stand by it. I think she instigated it, to my honest opinion. And it's more of like she put him in that position to where he has the fight to be masculine, and it failed because you did it to Chris Rock, out of all people. That was your friend. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the joke?
At first, I didn't get it, and then I had to like do my research and like, Google G.I. Jane, and I was like, oh,
she kind of bad.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
Demi Moore?
Yeah, she kind of bad.
Yeah,
MILF.
But it's like another like side note to that is like during the shooting of the movie, Demi Moore was married to I think Bruce Willis, and she cheated on Bruce Willis with a much younger guy.
But you know what's crazy? That joke was deep too, because she had to go through all this stuff to become part of the Navy, to become a Navy SEAL, and pretty much she had to really become masculine to really get into that position. So that joke has so much truth, because in that marriage, Jada is a lot more masculine than Will is, if you want to look at society standards. So you see how that joke really connected. So I'm like, dang, it's not just with a girl that's bald and stuff, because if you really want to be real, that was a good movie. So it was like,
you seen it?
No, I just did my research. But no, but I was looking at the movie and I was hearing, I guess like the summaries and stuff like that. It's like an action movie, and it was in, I would say, 1997.
Oh yeah, that was a good year.
1997, yeah. And pretty much it was just her trying to become a Navy SEAL, and that's fire. That's fire. So I don't really think like it was that bad of a joke. It was really a compliment. But if you want to look deep down, they kind of in the same, every joke
But
has its truth.
we don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
That's true too.
Will has never said. It's like no way in hell he hasn't cheated on Jada over what
Absolutely,
20 years.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
like we'd have no idea about it. All we know is, August Alsina and
Mind you, that was Jaden Smith's friend too, with mental. You see how predatory that is too, because he had mental issues.
But think about it though. Out of all the people that you could have chose from, you chose the person that brought him into his life. When he was down bad, and like treated him like a son. You choose anybody else in the world, but you choose him.
Facts.
That's kinda
That's
weird.
predatory.
Kinda weird.
Don't you think that's predatory?
If we want to take it that far.
No, I think that's predatory. If you want to be real, like, what do you think, Professor X? He's sitting there
X.
talking.
How old was he at the time?
So I know that I was looking at the ages now. So Jada Pinkett Smith is 50 and he is 29.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it predatory. I would call it, I just say it's weird, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you bring in somebody else under your wing, you know what I'm saying, take care of them, and then, then you have an entanglement, you know what I'm saying? So,
Why would you not view it? I'm asking, why would you not view it as predatory?
I mean, because he's not a little kid, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But I feel like when you taking advantage of someone in a dire situation, you're kind of grooming them, to me. So I don't know, like I don't know, like I'm just saying for me, is like when I would say, like a 20-year gap, and you're using him to make yourself feel better and not really being genuine with him. You looked at him as a son. I do think that's a little bit predatory, to my honest opinion.
Is it the age for you, or is it
Just what happened? Just like it's a mixture of really age and just the motive on why that even occurred. Because like he said, out of all people, you could have chose anybody. You're a beautiful black woman. You could have chose anybody. Even when you're bald, you're still beautiful. And now you could have chose anybody, but you chose him out of everybody. And that's your son's friend too.
Well, I mean, I can see it as them like being used, because
That's what I'm saying.
That can be like for anybody, like people in their like vulnerable states,
Yeah.
easy to be like manipulated and used. So
I think that's really my view on it being predatory, like you taking advantage of someone's vulnerability, and that's really for both sides. So it's like when you're taking advantage of someone that's in their weak spot, and you're manipulating the situation so you can get something out of it. I just don't think that's right for me, to be honest. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I think if that happened either way, I'm still gonna call that junk out, to be honest. But how do you feel about Chris Rock though? Because I'm with him 100%. He should sue. He should sue.
back to the joke.
Go ahead, yeah.
Will Smith was laughing at it at first. You know
That
what I'm
I
saying?
said that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he looked at Jada, and then he was like, "Oh, so now I got to check him now."
That's
You know
what I'm saying. And mind you, like,
But he didn't have to check him at that moment.
yeah.
That's Will's fault for going on that stage.
But-
Will got up on that stage, not Jada.
But the thing is, though, is that what you gotta realize is that if you are trying to be, I would say, the man of the relationship, and I'm not talking about take control or really anything like that, you have to recognize, don't react because your girl's reacting. Because if you know, because like Jada didn't come in there and do it, but she, I don't know. I feel like she instigated in a way, to my honest opinion. I feel like she put him in that position to where that was his only way of redeeming his masculinity, redeeming his honor. You get what I mean? Because for so long, he's been bashed down over some that she put him into. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that on the television. They didn't have to do that, but they did it anyways. So it's like, she kind of instigated in that regard, but I do believe that Will should have just. I think he should have redeemed it by, checking him. I think, ideally, I'm just looking at it from a business perspective, but could have said, hey, don't talk about my wife like that. She's going through a disease or whatever. Dapped him up, said, you know what, you right, and sat back down. That's what I think he should have did.
Like, if Chris knew about the illness beforehand,
Did he
it
know?
might have been. We don't know.
Also,
can't-
Chris
we
didn't
can't
even
tell.
write the joke.
Who wrote the joke?
They had a team of writers,
Oh, dang.
Oh wow.
so it wasn't even his joke.
Wow.
Man,
He
I
got
didn't know
slapped
that.
up for a joke that wasn't his.
I
Wow.
didn't know that. But nah, but like on a serious note, I think that if Chris knew about Jada's illness beforehand, then it probably would have been messed up. But Chris Rock, he's a comedian. He's gonna tell jokes. That's what he was at the Oscar for, to like, say his like 2 cents about things, and then make a few jokes here and there. That's what they do. Like Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, all these other comedians. That's what they do. They make jokes. Some people are gonna say like, hey, it's a little bit messed up, or like some other jokes think it's like dark humor or whatever. But like, people find humor in like some certain different ways. But I don't think that like, if he did not know about the joke, the illness, fair play. It was a joke. She might have not liked it, but hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
But do you think that, because like, Patrice O'Neal said the same thing as well. Shout out to him. Rest in peace to him. He pretty much, he was on the news and he was talking about a joke that someone said, or that he said, and a lot of people was like against it. And I just think that when someone is being a comedian, it may be a bad joke, but what is their motive on saying that joke? If they was being offensive, then like I said, you gotta look at the motive behind someone's words. And so with him, it's like when he said that joke, the girl's fire.
You could say the same thing about like, black comedians making jokes on white people.
Yeah.
Are we gonna say that? Oh, that's kind of offensive. It's kind of messed up. No.
No, of course not. And
So like, what makes this any different?
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And by the way, because like I don't know how to pronounce this. It's do you know how to pronounce it?
And that's what.
The disease.
Alopecia.
There we go. So the disease is pretty much, just to know, her disease is alopecia, and it's when I guess like it's like an autoimmune disease. So I guess it could come from stress or can come from your immune system. What happens is that it eats your healthy hair follicles, and that's what causes your hair loss. So and just to say about that disease, is that something that like we should joke around about? Do you think that's something we should joke around about, or a comedian should point out?
Diseases, regardless, I don't think people should make jokes about it.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, it's like comedians are still gonna just like make jokes and make people laugh.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like most of the time, like their heart is in the right.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they
yeah.
want people to like feel good at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a joke might not hit, and
That's okay.
It might depend on like the delivery or whatnot. But I think if it just comes from like good intentions, then it's fair play.
I don't know. That is so many other jokes he could have made about like
True.
things that she couldn't. She has like power over, like her career, her love life, but like
Oh my God! If they would have did that would be crazy.
a disease, like something like
But do
you can't really help. Like, are you gonna make fun of blind people? Are you gonna make fun of people who can't hear? People with Down syndrome? Like, it's a.
But he didn't say nothing about really the disease. Really, go ahead.
But she's bald because of the disease, because of it.
In like an interview like days before the Oscars or whatnot with Jada, she also said that she didn't care if people made fun of her bald head. And then you hear everybody in the crowd laughing at the joke. Even Will's laughing at the joke. But then she's like rolling her eyes, then approve of the joke.
Well, I guess she was lying about it.
Oh, this is a big conspiracy too.
She was definitely lying.
So most people are starting to say that like if it was real or staged. So like, what do you guys think?
Yo, I was looking at that too, and like I saw Will Smith like doing a fake smack to like a kid, and he did like a fake. It looked like he was smacking the kid, but really it was fake. That was a weak smack. I'm sorry, that was weak.
Was not a weak.
That
smack.
was weak.
That was all contact.
Passion behind that.
That was all contact.
Weak passion.
That was all
weak.
contact. That was very real because they cut off the audio for the recording, and he was swearing. He was saying the F word, and then like
That was weak.
Chris
And I
Rock.
tell
You can
some,
just tell.
like, reasons behind it.
You can just tell by Chris Rock's demeanor, like he was just like off, like, what do I say next? And like he was kind of like flustered, like what the hell do we do now? Do we cut off the cameras and stuff like that? But that was definitely
A weak
100%
smack.
real strong right smack to the
So
face.
what would you done in that situation?
If he would have said something to my wife,
No, got smacked.
No, you're Chris Rock, and like
just
well,
got
if I would have
you
got
and
smacked, I wouldn't know neither. Like, because like if you're trying to
No, because like imagine, right? So like that's basically like let's say I don't know, high school, like you're performing at some event and like something crazy happens and you pretty much just get embarrassed like in front of like the whole school. Pretty much, it's like what do you really do?
That's different.
Because I think that's how like Chris Rock felt.
But the thing is, though, is that, mind you, if you're doing something with good intentions, I don't think you're going to see, like, the negative reaction of you doing something that you genuinely was trying to be, like, good. You wasn't, like, if your motive was in the right place, you're not expecting a fight because your motive was in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if that was me, I probably would have just took it because it's on national TV, that be my friend or whatever, really being honest. But I wouldn't need my quick 30 after that.
I saw.
For
I don't know
real.
if y'all noticed, but like Chris Rock was like about to like throw hands, but then he put his hands behind his back.
True.
So he like restrained himself.
True.
So shout out
Shout out
Chris
to
Rock
him,
doing
for
that,
real,
man,
100%.
he handled that amazingly.
That would have been a fucking zoo if they started like.
Oh my
brawling on
God.
Stage of the Oxers.
Could you imagine? So like as a viewer, you're thinking like, oh wow, this is crazy. We got two kings right here about to like scrap.
He
and
not a
stuff,
king no more.
Chris Rock?
Oh, no, I'm talking about Will
Oh,
Smith.
yeah.
Will Smith is still a king.
Yeah, debate. Yeah.
No,
He's just going through a
What
lot.
you mean?
He not no king no more.
He's still a king
man.
until he's
Still
out.
gotta give him props.
Acting wise, yeah, but go ahead. He's not a king to me.
But there's like many reasons why people think that's like it's either stage or like actually for real.
Mhm.
You brought up some like valid points of like him like holding himself, like restraining him, and then like him like fuzzling up on his words behind that. Most people think that is staged because like he leaned into it, getting like prepared to be smacked with. But there's also another few things. So nobody really like cares about the Oscars like that, not anymore at least. What if you can see from like stats since like 2016. The viewership from like the Oscars has been going down immensely. So that might have been like another publicity stunt, like Hollywood-wise, for it to like, gain some more traction towards it. So it can be like, oh, snap, what's going to happen like next year and everything. Oh,
Wow.
Also, shout out to the king and queen, like A&T. I think they got
yeah.
mentioned on the Oscars.
They
too.
did?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Facts. That's wild.
I don't know. I think he was leaning in, and he was smiling. I feel like he was either leaning in because he
But-
was like, "Oh, he's about to like throw a fake jab," or like he had a microphone like near his collar, so I guess
Yeah.
he was like leaning in, like, "Yo, do you want to say something?" Like
That was
That
crazy.
was definitely real, and plus, like that would be kind of fucked up to put Will in that position to even take the fall just for the Oscars ratings. Like that is like career ending.
I mean, he still got the reward, and he was still
but they were
partying.
Yeah, but they were in the talks. Like the Oscars was like thinking about taking the
Yeah.
Oscar back.
So you don't think it's staged?
No.
I don't think it's staged. I mean, but that smack though, like if you
was
was
so
really
loud.
angry, no, it wasn't. That sound
was
like a movie.
loud,
That sound like
like-
a movie smack. Like when you smack somebody, you put the sound effect to it. That's what it sounded like to me.
Oh, also, I don't think it was fake because the way he approached them, like,
And then he
was-
walked
he was,
away
like,
too.
He was like smiling and like, like it was like so swift. The smack, it was just like out of nowhere, like it was so fast, like a
But the
karate
thing
chop
is,
or
he
something.
walked away too. Like if I was mad, like why did you have to smack him and just walked away?
What else? He's supposed to stay up there?
I mean, yeah, I would. I mean, if I'm mad at somebody, what? Like I don't know. Like I feel like to me, I don't think it would have been. That's hard because you just smacked him and left.
Chris didn't swing back, so there's no reason to stay up there.
That's true. He's like, yo, that's it. I'm gone. Like, it just walked
a
away.
kid.
That's crazy.
Like, don't do that.
Facts. That, yo.
He probably didn't do nothing because it was like a professional setting. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
If it was like his own, like, I guess, comedy stand up or whatnot, he probably would have did
Oh,
something.
definitely.
And did you see after there was like, I think Chris Rock had he went to another event, and when he was at that other event, someone tried to fight him.
No way.
Due to that, someone tried to fight him. He had to escort him out. It was a heckler. And, his response was, I'm still processing the situation.
Mhm.
And I think it was more of him like saying like, wow, like that really happened, but it was in the way as in like, this person that, I work with slapped me, and I wasn't trying to do nothing wrong. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
Mhm.
But I think for me is more like that hurt, I would say. Like a friend smacking you and stuff that will hurt.
Yeah,
especially on
it's
national
really
TV.
And you're surrounded by like your peers and people you work with and people that you want to work with. That's pretty embarrassing. Like, he took that man's manhood.
No, I know he gained
Took that
manhood
man.
for that.
Well, some
Yeah,
people
he got
they
a few street cred points.
no. Oh, Chris?
No,
Yeah.
Will Smith.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
He did?
Yeah, he did, bro.
Bro, how much of a G do you have to be to like walk up on national television and smack a
Oscars.
king?
Smacking
Look,
Chris Rock
you
at
gotta
the
look
Oscars.
You gotta look at the motive though. I mean, he felt weak his like decades, and now you're doing something to recuperate that, and it end up going worse for you than anything. I mean,
It's gangster because he stood up for his wife.
that cheated on him.
Yeah.
That's my point. It would have been gangster if that his wife wasn't doing anything, and that happened. Then okay, I understand. But your wife literally exposed you and embarrassed you on TV and talked about how she was in love with a whole nother guy that's dead now. Rest in peace to him. And then come about and making you have to compete with almost everybody that you meet, and made you feel insecure. Have your daughter write a note to Tupac talking about how, I wish you was here so my mom could be happy. What? Like, not only you, but your daughter. Your daughter said that. You slept with your son's best friend. What is wrong with you? Like it would be like that's G. That's if you want to talk about,
Jada's a G.
you could say. I mean, she put the mafia hit. She said, "Yo,
She do what she wants.
And with
very
Jaden
innocent.
too, he said he looks at J. Cole as like a role model or something like that, and not his own father. So
and see, that's the thing, and it's just like, but you see how that mindset could really get you to have you compete. You competing in your family. You competing with your wife's love interest. You're doing all this other stuff, and then now you do that. Like, if you want to talk about street cred, yeah, because you reacted, and that's what some street dudes do. They're going to react more than respond. But if you want to talk about responding, then it's like you didn't respond correctly because you wasn't thinking about the bigger picture. The bigger picture was you being, your masculinity was being taken away from you. You thought that was going to redeem it. You end up not, because you have a fragile masculinity. That's just really what that is, to my honest opinion.
I think when he was like with his apology or whatnot after he got his Oscar, they were saying that it's like it was his breaking point or whatnot.
Yeah, I think he has a fragile mental. I don't know about masculinity.
That's a good way of phrasing it. I should
Yeah.
have said that. Yeah.
Definitely.
But like what do you think that and like I guess like have you listened to different perspectives, like people like Jim Carrey saying he would have sued him? Jim Carrey and like Candace Owens not exposing, but like giving her point to about the situation.
What did she say?
Yeah,
Shout out Candace Owens.
I feel a little mixture about it. Just
Shout
some,
out Candace Owens.
but
She a
yeah,
G.
she is to a certain
She's
extent.
a little crazy too.
Yeah,
but
very
I respect it.
very conservative.
Yeah.
But she was saying how like I guess like that, and that's where I got that from with the joke, because like the joke was saying she analyzed the joke a little bit more and said that joke really related to Jada a lot more than we thought, because in the movie the girl had to remove all her femininity and had to be more masculine to get into the Navy, and look what's going on. Jada Smith is becoming more masculine than Will Smith, and as a result, look what's going on. You know what I mean? So that's what she said, and that's where I got that analyzation from. But she was spitting some facts. Please look that up if you want, But yeah, it's definitely. I think it's hurt. I think it hurts because some people view Will Smith as the golden child. And it's more like not even the golden child as in like he's the role model, but it's more like we view him as the best actor. He's in a lot of movies. He's very successful. And it just proves that even when you're successful, you still got to deal with issues. You still got to deal with a whole bunch of people hating on you. And then, mind you, the family's foundation is not perfect at all. This guy is literally giving out quotes talking about, oh, this person should be happy first and be in the marriage. And now look what you're doing. You with a person that's not even really happy. And mind you, this is our viewers' opinion, so they could do whatever behind closed doors. But that person is not really happy because, like I said, this is crazy. Your daughter wrote a letter to a lover that you love more than Will Smith. You know how insane that is?
But they're also swingers, too.
What do you mean?
They have an open marriage.
But even if that is the case, like, why make it, like, public?
That's in public. That's like me having a daughter I love dearly, saying she wished that someone else is alive so she can make my wife happy. Mm-hmm. You know how crazy that is? To me, that's like insanity right there. I'll be hurt. If my own daughter that I did everything for did that and then write a letter to somebody that she never met. She never met this guy. She never met Tupac. You're worshiping a whole nother man instead of respecting your father. That's crazy. That's crazy. I would have ripped that paper, burned it or something. That's crazy. That's sad. That's really, like, that makes me cry. That's sad. I looked that up today before I came in here. That's really sad. And that's how you could tell how much toxic, like a lot of toxic habits that people put in a marriage. It just ruins the family because you got even your children worshiping other men now. They're not worshiping their dad.
Why do you think they're still together?
Because I think they're still together because, I think for Will, he wanted to keep that family dynamic strong. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what a lot of cases are, to where the father's trying to keep the family together and everyone's doing all these different things. And, and it just really drives me crazy.
Yeah, but they're both adults. Like, both their kids are adults, and they probably don't even live at home.
But they're still a family, though.
You can still be a family with two divorced parents.
I kind of get that because, like, I would understand if, like, Jaden and Willow were, like, kids, but, like, these are, like, grown adults now. Like, they have their own careers going on. They have, like, their own stuff going on as well.
I think they're both trying to keep the family together.
Yeah, definitely. But I think, like, it's all, like, if they were still, like, underage, I could understand them being together because I know, like, sometimes in the, the family household, they want to keep that, like, idea of, like, having a family together, especially, like, kids at a young age, because they want to, like, keep that image in their heads saying that, like, yeah, look, we're still together. We might have our ups and downs, but we're still a family,
Mm-hmm.
But,
and
like,
it's just easier to raise kids with two people in the household.
But I'm saying, as in, like I said in the other podcast, now you an aspired, mind you, it's a role that you don't have to earn. So you're an aspired role model because everyone gets to see you in the public eye. So it's not really to only show people, like, your kids, but also to the people that's around you. Because, mind you, Will Smith is in a lot of movies. Jada Pinkett Smith was in a lot of movies. So we see you guys. So especially for a black family. So at the end of the day, when you're seeing this family broken apart, some people are going to be like, oh, okay, now I could do that too. Because that's in the public eye. You get what I mean? So I do feel as if, with Will Smith, to me, he's trying to keep that family together, not necessarily now for his kids, before it may have been, but now it's really for everyone else. You get what I mean? And I don't, and you may not have to follow that social pressure, but that can be the social pressure, especially when you're a celebrity, to my honest opinion.
That's true. I can see that being like real.
What'd you say?
I can see that being real, but like his mental health, I don't know. I don't feel like he would jeopardize his mental health for.
I mean, he's already doing it.
I don't know. I don't know. That's like OD extra.
What do you mean?
To be around that, Willow writing letters, Jada talking about, being with August Alsina. I don't feel like no man like he's rich, bro. He has so many other options.
But people don't be thinking about that neither. Like, you gonna have to ask him that question. I will ask him that question after 30, quick 30, to my opinion. What do you think, guys? Like, what do you think about that family dynamic? Xavier, my bad. Professor Xavier.
Professor Xavier.
We give each other nicknames.
Like, what do you mean by that?
Like, how do you feel that, Will Smith or them staying in that marriage? Do you feel like, it's worth staying in that marriage?
No. Not on Will's part, no.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say Will and Jada because, it seems to me like she obviously don't want to be with him, to be real with you.
And she's also taking a lot of flack for being the villain of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But people think that's okay, though.
You don't think she's taking, like, a lot of shit for being
No, she's
the
not.
cheater?
No, she's not.
They're actually like praising, Jada for, having like the entanglement pretty much. They're saying like, oh, it's okay, baby girl. You was feeling some type of way. So like, I can understand. And like, Will, he's like a good guy because he's taking you back from like all the things that you've done. He's a good man, this, that, and third,
So you don't feel like there's more gifted in the world that think that Jada is the devil?
I think
some people say like she's a devil.
Yo, shout out to the gifters out there, man. For real.
But like other than that,
Giphy King.
I think that people can't really say that because it's kind of like politically incorrect to like, check people on their like bad behavior, instead of saying like
They was praising her for that.
exactly.
They was praising her for that. They was like, oh, I'm glad that you got to let this out and stuff like that. And I'm like,
I think they was praising her for being honest and transparent.
I mean, it's good that she's being honest so
That could be a thing.
people could be aware, but I feel like she didn't get enough accountability to be like, yo, you are literally in a marriage. You literally took over your son's friend. You see how connected that is? Your son's friend.
I don't know if they were friends. Maybe he just knew him.
I think that Jada
Hung out a
isn't
few
really
times.
like taking. I don't think that Jada or like anybody that's like, understanding this thing like
Yeah.
taking like accountability for her. You know what I'm saying? Like I think she's acknowledging like
It happened.
it happened, but I don't think she's like saying, hey, what I did was kind of messed up.
Exactly.
I think she's saying. I feel like it's like that because it was years ago.
But
It
still,
wasn't recent, and like they probably been over this already, and we're just not knowing about it.
True. That's a good point.
And the only reason I say that they weren't friends because he was 29 and Jaden was probably still in high school. He was probably just a fan.
True,
And
true.
since he was famous, he was like, yo, I'm famous. You should come over to my mansion. We should and he made music, so I don't feel like they were like buddy.
Like the
That
best
man
of
is
friends.
29
I
years
get that.
old. And he was like probably
No, he's
16.
29 now, but this was before.
okay.
So
Well, he was still
he was
20
young.
Yeah, he was.
You get what I mean?
Yeah, he was definitely over 21, and Jane was probably still in high school.
Yeah. But mind you, in that interview,
It's still weird.
Jaden was by himself when he was 15.
Yeah, it's still weird that you are messing with a dude that your son knows,
My point beforehand,
Yeah.
like out of all the guys in the whole world, you choose him.
Predatory.
How you of age,
I
man.
don't know. Maybe it just, I don't think that she came in there on some, I'm about to get this young fella. I don't
think it was really intentional. I mean,
Yeah.
it could have happened. It could be like, dang, he was right there.
Yeah.
I think it could have been anybody in that position. It could have been just
Yeah,
him that was close that she knew.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
There's-
I agree with that.
There's plenty of singers that have dated their backup dancer. These are Beyonce, most famous is Britney Spears. She actually had a baby with her backup dancer. But it's like, that's Britney Spears. She could have had anyone in the entire world, any celebrity. She has access to like all these men, but she chose to have a baby with the guy that was her backup dancer. I don't know.
So
It's just because he was just closer. He was just more accessible and he was always there.
yeah. No, I'm just saying, in that, because like that predicament, you may fall in love with someone that, that was at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying that there's just so many connections and bridges created due to, first of all, you're married to Will Smith.
Open
then-
relationship
Okay.
is open.
And it was open. But then you have a son that now he got experienced that dynamic of an open relationship from their parents. And then out of all people, you pick the friend or someone that's close to you. I do think that's a little bit weird, because there's a lot of bridges that you're burning with that. And mind you, that thing wasn't even successful anyways, because she was only using him for something temporary.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
You
bridges
think
burnt.
August care?
He cared.
Yeah.
He cared.
Yeah.
He made a song with Rick Ross about her. Oh. Oh.
But I'm saying, like, I think he was just trying to,
I
slide
think-
up in there.
No, he really cared about her. He really cared about her. They was both going through something, and when they was going through something, they pretty much was, I guess they was both going through a struggle, and they were, I guess, putting Band-Aids on each other. And
But who's really taking the damage, though?
him,
Yeah, definitely August.
because he was in a vulnerable position, and
She used him.
exactly. And mind you, it didn't reach to anything. It didn't go to anything. It wasn't a successful marriage, or it wasn't a successful relationship. It
And
was-
I think she cut it off.
yeah, she cut it off. I think so.
I got a question for you. So, how does a open?
Wait, him?
No. I got a question for you, Kamal. How does a open relationship work in a marriage?
I mean, they both agree upon it before. They,
So-
they
so-
probably got married.
So they can mess with anybody they want. Pretty much, is that what you're saying?
It depends on the relationship. Sometimes the partner might want to like get approved before, like, okay, I'm thinking about doing this. Is that okay? But usually swingers go with other like married swingers. They rarely like choose like a random single person. They usually try to keep it, this couple is married. We're thinking about, talking to them, and yeah, it rarely goes like random single person.
Oh, couldn't be me though.
I mean, mind you, everyone's relationship is different. Everyone's relationship is not the same. So it's like, from a viewer's perspective, our perspective may not even consider it, because you can't say, oh, well, you shouldn't do this in a relationship, but mainly when you think about two people in a relationship, it's two. It's not us. It's not anybody else. It's just, you got to look at the results. If it's working, if they're succeeding, why not? You get what I mean? But if it's to the point where he's reacting and he's going on outrages and stuff like that, then something must not be working in that marriage, to my opinion. I mean, if they want to have an open one, I have heard open ones, not personally, but I've seen open ones and they were cool with it, So, but I wouldn't consider it an open marriage.
Me either, because someone always loses.
Facts. Their heart or their feelings or their soul. Depending.
Definitely. Someone always loses.
Well, guys, thank you for listening once again. This is the Quest of the Future Messiahs, or QFM. Please listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Instagram on Quest of the Future Messiah. Thank you so much, guys.
Peace.
Shout out, Dom.
Shout out down.